And this is part 3 of this chapter 6, environmental quality. And this is going to be on water quality. So, like air, water is vulnerable as a common property resource. Few property rights exist, everybody has access to it, and so that makes water, like air, very vulnerable. Let's see, some definitions. Surface water is water that's open to the Earth's atmosphere. Rivers, lakes, oceans that cover 70% of the planet. Groundwater is fresh water located in large aquifers beneath the Earth's surface. So, um, water is definitely either one of those two things. Um, Over 95% of the world's water supply is salt water in oceans and inland seas. Groundwater, ice caps, and glaciers make up almost all of the fresh water. Fresh surface water makes up only 0.1% of the total water supply, and pollution can definitely affect any of these resources. Now, we economists are big on looking at the value of things, and there's a section in your book about the value of water quality. There's been various studies, and this is your table 6-4 in your 5th edition book. And water is something that we get for generally free, but these studies have been done to kind of give an estimation as to what people would pay, and um, you can see, like, for example, let's see, Viscusi, Huber, and Bell, 2008, a 1% increase in waterways with good water quality, U.S. residents, and if people had to, they would be willing to pay $32 a person. Or Michael Boyle and Bouchard in the year 2000, lake water clarity, homeowners in Maine, they would be willing to pay $5,000 to $10,000 per home. Now, they don't actually pay this, but this is what they would be willing to pay. According to the EPA's Office of Water in the United States, $44 billion is spent making 910 million annual trips to coastal areas, and 35 million adults pursue the sport of fishing. So, people do value water, and you can look at it in terms of what they would spend on tourist activities. Now, chapter 10 is going to look at specific methods of placing value on natural capital and additional examples of the estimated value placed on wildlife. Now, losses from oil spills, this definitely has an impact upon water. Losses from oil spills provide very big examples of the cost of polluted water. The Deepwater Horizon drilling rig released 210 million gallons of oil into the Gulf of Mexico, and losses included earnings in the seafood industry, medical costs, property damage, and the effects are approximately $7.8 billion. Exxon Valdez in 1989, estimated value of the loss $9 billion, and there's certainly other examples of this. So oil spills have a huge impact upon water and sea life, and maybe even life on land as well. So that is a big factor, and is led to consumers purchasing many liters of bottled water for approximately $1 a liter, and it's an indication of the value of clean water to humans. So people buying water is kind of a revealed show as to how much they would value that water for. Okay, threats to water quality. The let's see, the UK, no, not the UK, the EPA's Office of Water in the United States. Oh wait, I just went. Okay, threats to water quality. Okay, there we go. United Kingdom's Environmental Agency reported 59 serious pollution incidents, down slightly from 61 the previous year. So there are lots of different um, pollution incidents involving water companies. Um, the good news is that they've been gone down through the years, but the bad news is they're still a high number. Now, unlike the air, almost anything can be spilled or dumped into water. Uh, Non-point source pollution is the leading cause of water pollution. So you don't necessarily know where the pollution is coming from. So non-point source pollution can be things such as excess nutrients, metals, bacteria, um, silt, oxygen depleting substances, and pesticides are among the leading pollutants. In the United States, we have passed something called the Clean Water Act to try to police these threats to water quality. And the Clean Water Act, um, let's see, when was the Clean Water Act passed? I cannot see it here, but under the Clean Water Act, states face federal sanctions if they fail to restore impaired bodies of water. States oftentimes delegate standard setting, implementation, and enforcement duties to branches of local government or designated conservation districts. So there are general discharge prohibitions that require a permit for the release of designated substances. And the requirement of a discharge permit removes the need to demonstrate any causal link. So the Clean Water Act is an act that enforces state and local bodies to make people a little bit more accountable for what they throw into the water. Okay, what do we have next here? We have a picture, and this is impaired water in Colorado. And in the red is polluted, in the green is unpolluted, and in the blue condition unknown. And this just shows the extent to which even in a place like Colorado, there is a lot of polluted waterways. And this picture shows this is a warning about eating fish from the Wisconsin Department of Health Services in 2013. So these are different fish, and fish from these waters contain chemicals. Eating too much may be harmful. So this is all from pollution that humans have done into the waterways. Okay, this finishes the third section of this chapter.